bring you the conversations, insights, and laughter that fuel our journey as communicators and leaders. And now, join your hosts, Althea Latang, Derek Boyer, Angela Norman, and Johnny Randolph. Together, they're ready to share, inspire, and empower right here on the District 40 podcast. Welcome to the District 40 podcast, where voices unite, stories inspire, and leadership comes to life. We bring you the conversations, insights, and laughter that fuel our journey as communicators and leaders. And now, join your hosts, Althea Latang, Derek Boyer, Angela Norman, and Johnny Randolph. Together, they're ready to share, inspire, and empower right here on the District 40 podcast. Welcome to the District 40 podcast, where voices unite, stories inspire, and leadership comes to life. We bring you the conversations, insights, and laughter that fuel our journey as communicators and leaders. And now, join your hosts, Althea Latang, Derek Boyer, Angela Norman, and Johnny Randolph. Together, they're ready to share, inspire, and empower right here on the District 40 podcast.
Good evening, District 40 podcast viewers and friends. Welcome to our February podcast episode. My name's Althea Latang, and with me this evening is your podcast team. We've got Johnny Randolph, Angela Norman,
Hey.
Boyer.
Hey.
What's up?
How are you doing today?
We're doing great. How about yourself?
I am excited for this episode. But before we get into that, I want to, as we always do, kick off our episodes by sharing with our viewers and listeners our mission statement and the reason why we're here. So our mission statement is to educate and to entertain our listeners and viewers by providing a supportive and positive experience while helping our listeners and viewers develop stronger leadership, communication, and public speaking skills. Also, I want to introduce the word of the day. And the word for today is culminate. And culminate means I'm having issues speaking today. And to culminate is to reach the end of or the final cut of something. So for example, using the word culminate in a sentence, District 40 will be celebrating our last year as District 40 at the retreat, which we'll talk about later on this episode. And this represents the culmination of all the years that we've spent as District 40 and how we're transitioning into District 215. So anyone using the speaking platform this evening is encouraged to utilize the word of today, which is culminate. Right.
Like it. It's one of
Let's
my favorite
check
words.
in with everyone. Let's catch up. How have you all been?
Cold. Like we've had a lot of cold weather here in the last couple of weeks, man. I am looking for. Did the groundhog see his shadow? Because I'm hoping spring comes.
No.
He did, and it's supposed to be another couple of weeks, according to him. But I think he's lying.
I don't know what it is. So is it if he sees his shadow early spring, or what is the rules here?
I think if he sees his shadow, it's more winter time. I believe that's
if he sees his shadow, it's 6 more weeks of winter.
That would make sense because he runs back into the cave,
and then
and
if
it would
he
stay colder longer. So
spring.
that would be if he doesn't see it, I think then we get an earlier spring. So that would make sense.
Who came up with this?
I have no idea.
It's a whole folklore
This
around it.
stuff,
Like
man.
different. A friend of mine actually did a
How did it
presentation
start?
on it one time. It's a whole folklore. Like,
Really?
and it's one of those things that nobody knows the origin of it. It dates back to like Greece. It's really interesting. Go out. I would tell you, go out there and look it up. It's really interesting.
We'll have it in the chat later.
So what is this whole thing like Groundhog Day, right? So there was that movie, obviously, with what's his name, Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, funny.
So it's like what does that mean? Because I'm not really familiar.
That was
I've
a great
heard-
movie, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Groundhog Day, the movie isn't Groundhog Day, the movie is about him repeating his life over and over again.
It has
and
nothing
he
to do with
changes it. But
It was
Groundhog
Groundhog's
Day,
Day.
yeah, Groundhog Day is a tradition in America where it's like a groundhog is released, and if the groundhog sees his shadow, he runs away, and that means we're going to have, like Derek said, some winter will be extended. If he doesn't see his shadow, then we're going to have a quicker spring. It's not scientific, but like
how
yeah,
does
it's not,
what is
it's a tradition.
Yeah.
It's just a tradition.
what are the
Take
qualifications
the
for
groundhog.
like, do they go in training? Like, do they have to
No.
like pass like a certain lineage or bloodline test? Like, how do you qualify?
Yeah, that makes sense.
They find a groundhog and they do it. I don't.
No,
not-
I bet it's gotta be a certain bloodline from
You know,
that.
like I mean, is the same groundhog going to every
What-
year?
Well, I don't know.
Anyone in the comments, like if you
Yeah,
know,
anybody in the comments, feel free in the chat. Feel free
or-
to share with us any information that you have on Groundhog Day. 'Cause I
oh
don't-
my gosh, I
This
didn't
is
really
taking a
want to
turn.
go down that hole, pun intended.
let's have the culmination of this conversation before we transition
Love
to
it,
Yes.
love it.
another point.
So I
Right.
Googled it and it said the background, the tradition stems from ancient European farming customs with festivities taking place annually
Okay.
in Puxatawney, Pennsylvania.
In Pennsylvania, hey, huh.
It must be true.
Predictions are not usually
Is that
accurate.
Pennsylvania
Yeah, they're
too?
not. Yeah, it's not scientific.
Oh my god, just like you said, folklore, right?
We've come better. It's some meteorologists going crazy. Like, I went to school for all these years, passed all these tests, and here it is. Y'all listen to a groundhog.
Groundhog, a rodent. It's telling me it's crazy. Well, this month, February, it's the shortest month of the year. It's also a pretty pack-filled month. We're celebrating Black History Month. And
Valentine's
we're
Day.
also month of love, Valentine's Day for those that
Super
celebrate
Bowl,
a couple. What's that?
Super Bowl, NBA All-Star Game.
Yeah.
February's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a busy month.
Women's Heart
Black
Health
History.
was a couple weeks ago
History
too.
Month.
Yeah, Black History, Women's Heart. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things happening this month. But you know
and
what?
it's already almost over with. Can you guys believe
My
it?
God.
We're going
Yeah,
into
we're there.
March next
Yeah.
week.
We're marching in the March, you guys.
Right, right.
What's with these jokes, Althea?
I don't know. I'm on the roll, you guys. I'm sorry. Well, you know what? I don't want to delay any longer because we have a pretty exciting episode, if I do say so myself. So I'm going to turn things over to Johnny Randolph to kick us off with the interview segment.
Okay. Well, all right. So we'll go ahead and get started with our interview section.
Poor Freddie. Did she have to listen to all that Groundhog's Day?
Now, District 40, I want you to lean in. Come here. Everybody out there, lean in, lean in. Some people, they talk about excellence. Some people admire it from a distance. And then there are those who chase it relentlessly, passionately, until it finally says yes. Freddie Docterton is one of those people. She was already a paid professional speaker before joining Toastmasters. She didn't come looking for confidence. She came for refinement. She came for tools. She came for sharpening. And when she set her eyes on becoming an accredited speaker, one of the highest honors in our organization, which we're going to talk about later, she didn't treat it like a dream. She treated it like a decision. From cassette tape submissions to VCR recordings to online applications, she stayed in the fight for years. Standards evolved, technology changed, but the standard stayed high, and so did hers. Today, she is not only an accredited speaker and has the accredited speaker credential. She serves as the co-chair of the Accredited Speaker Council. That's experience, that's earned, that's authority. Here is what we're going to talk about today. You're going to learn about the Accredited Speaker Program, insight into building a real credential, and a mindset shift on pursuing elite standards. District 40, get ready. Please help me welcome Miss Freddie Dougherty. Freddie, how are you doing today?
Hey, District 40, I am so excited. And did you know that where I live in Alberta, Canada, we have our own groundhog. His name is Balzac Billy. And that little rodent predicted 6 more weeks of winter for us.
What are his credentials?
So I wonder how his prediction differs from ours. Do they have like a Groundhog Day community and they get together and decide the best practices for determining the length of winter?
I think it's an international organization that goes across borders and often does podcasts on Zoom, Teams, and other media platforms. And I think they collude on saying, well, over here, we're going to do this, over there, we're going to do that. And then it culminates in having these different predictions everywhere.
And they probably say, those silly humans, they don't know anything. They're just making fun of us.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Literally.
But did you know that where a groundhog lives, there are pathways all around?
Oh,
See what you did there.
oh.
Thinking that these groundhogs pick a path, and that sort of sets their trajectory for the year.
Mhm.
It's a theory. It's a theory.
So I wonder how they feel about us taking their name then. If they have it
That's probably why
copyrighted,
we got
if they
more
have it
winter.
copyrighted, and that's why in states where there's, they kind of play with us.
Mhm.
Things that make you say, Well, Freddie, thank you so much for coming to District 40 and providing this elaborate history and background on Groundhog's Day. We've never had that before.
Yeah.
Not only is she a professional speaker, accredited speaker, and also a distinguished Toastmaster, she's an expert on groundhogs. That's what we like here at District 40. So, Freddie, we talked about this in our meeting, I think it was in December, and we started talking about designations and awards within Toastmasters. And most of us, I won't say most of us, all of us on this call, we were familiar with DTM. And I had just learned or heard about the Accredited Speaker Program. And I jumped in, I said, oh, there's an award out there that's even more prestigious than that. And they were like, what? I said, accredited. Matter of fact, I think Althea had to Google it because I couldn't remember the name off the top of my head. And so we thought it would be a good idea for the membership of District 40 to learn a little bit more about what this program and what this designation is. So I want to start with that being the first question. And it is, what's the difference between the Distinguished Toastmaster, DTM, and becoming an accredited speaker?
Well, that is the number one question that everybody asks, because the Accredited Speaker Program is the best kept secret of excellence in the Toastmaster world. It has been around since 1981.
Wow.
In 1981, they brought in the program because the paid professional speakers in Toastmasters were looking at establishing a professional credential. So it's not an award or anything like that. It is a professional credential. So I'll answer your question, but let me just back up so you've got some history to go along with this. So it started in 1981, and since then, there have been 95 Toastmasters in the world who have achieved this credential. Wow. We're as rare as groundhogs. Out of that 95, there are 29 women.
Okay.
Our members, our accredited speaker members, represent 8 different countries. And I'm proud to say there are 12 Canadians, of which 4 are women. I'm one of them.
Love it.
Nice.
I happen to be number 72. And it's a fun thing. We have numbers, like when
I was about to say, yeah, so I love that you have numbers. Please go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's just kind of a fun thing. Like, who are you? Well, I'm number 26.
Right.
Well, I'm 72. But our accredited speakers are, number one, they're professional speakers, but in the Toastmaster world, they've held other roles as well, and even in the professional speaking world. So to even enter into the streaming or the processing for the accredited speaker, you have to either have completed one full path under Pathways, achieved your Toastmaster bronze or your accredited AC bronze. That's in some of the older programs. Okay.
Right.
So you have to, that's sort of your starting point. But we have 9 accredited speakers who are also certified speaking professionals through the National Speakers Association. We have 3 accredited speakers that are also world champions of public speaking.
Nice.
We have 4 accredited speakers that are past international presidents. And we have, out of our 95 members since 1981, we've had some that have retired and stepped away, some have passed on, but we have 40 accredited speakers who are still active. So you can see that there are room for plenty more. So what's the difference between a DTM and an accredited speaker? There's a common myth that after DTM, the next thing to try for is accredited speaker. They are 2 different animals. It's like a groundhog and a chicken. Okay, so it's 2 different animals. The Distinguished Toastmaster program, with which we're all familiar, incorporates the communication skills that we work on, as well as the leadership and the district leadership and taking the roles. So you're doing that deeper dive into Toastmasters. And so when you achieve your Distinguished Toastmaster, you're coming at it as a full meal deal. You've done the leadership, you've done area leadership, you've worked with the district, you've completed your path, etc. So the Distinguished Toastmaster is that holistic package of Toastmaster program excellence. Okay, so that's the Distinguished Toastmaster. Quick show of hands, who all here has achieved their Distinguished Toastmaster? Fantastic. Okay, that's all right. It's not a destination, it's a journey.
Absolutely.
So the difference is that the accredited speaker program is for speakers who are paid professional speakers who combine their platform skills with expertise in a particular area. So we're subject matter experts. We have our lane that we're known for. People hire us to speak about that outside of the Toastmaster arena. I personally think that it's excellent because if you're looking for members, what club, area, division, or district isn't? Think about those people in your sphere, in your community, who are either dreaming of being a paid professional speaker, are an emerging paid professional speaker. They're just getting their toes wet and, they're just starting with the engagements, or they are a paid professional speaker, but they're looking for that support and the tools and the mentorship and feedback that Toastmasters can offer. There is a huge untapped pool of potential members. And what I love about the Accredited Speaker Program is that it gives us, who are the paid professional speakers, the opportunity to earn a prestigious credential that is recognized around the world because we're an international organization. So I joined Toastmasters as a professional speaker. And Johnny, thank you. That was an amazing introduction. That's what I was doing. I was, on the platform, and I was speaking and getting paid for it. That was what I did. And when I heard about Toastmasters, and a friend of mine invited me to a meeting, I thought, wow, this is what I'm looking for. I want feedback. I want to try new material in a safe environment instead of a paying audience, that they vote with their checkbook. Their evaluation is, don't hire this girl. And so in Toastmasters, I love the structure of the program. I've been a Toastmaster for 24 years. I started back in the old paper manual, but I love Pathways. But it had this structured program. It had that excellence in feedback, mentorship, support, camaraderie. What an amazing organization. And this is what I was looking for. And I have to say that Toastmasters has never let me down. Never let me down. I'm also, involved with the professional speaker organizations, but they focus more on the business of the business and not so much on the excellence of your platform skills.
Right.
So the big difference is that the distinguished Toastmaster is that culmination of engagement, involvement of Toastmaster excellence, and the accredited speaker is the accreditation process that paid professional speakers who are also Toastmasters can go through. It's a judged program, and I'll get into it a little bit more. So it's got similarities, but it's different.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. I am going to pass it over to Angela, see if she has any questions.
Thank you. That was a lot of great information. I'd like to hear about the judging. So I don't know if I want to take you off track here, but I was wondering, as far as, since you're a paid professional speaker, what does the accredited speaker status get you in the professional world? Do you notice a difference in how that affects your resume, or what does it get you ahead at all?
That's a great question, because it really depends on the meeting planner, the conference planner. A lot of the world outside of Toastmasters, just like inside, has no idea what an accredited speaker is.
We didn't know.
Yeah, it's universal. So
there's only 95 of you all, so it's an elite.
You better get it before they hit 100. You want to get that number.
There you go. But it gives us the opportunity to explain, and also it gives us the opportunity to talk about Toastmasters. The organization Toastmaster, people go, oh yeah, like my dad's best friend or something, he was a Toastmaster in 1814 or something like that. But it gives us the opportunity, but then it is also more broadly becoming recognized as a very high level speaking credential, that those 95 of us that have achieved it, we have gone through very, very rigorous judging, not evaluation, not feedback. It is judging. and performing in front of live audiences. We've had to demonstrate our platform competence as well as convince the judges that we are subject matter experts.
Wow.
And so when meeting planners hear that, they go like, that's pretty
Maybe.
good. It's
Right.
like you've been tried by fire. Yes, very much. You've been tried by fire, so obviously you're good, which is why, my counterpart recommended you to us.
Yeah. How do you get started on this path? Like if somebody was to want to be an accredited speaker, like where do you go to start taking those steps or getting the information?
The first thing is the awareness. And on the website, there is the Accredited Speaker Handbook. So if you go to the Toastmasters.org website, the members tab, and then you open that and it'll say accredited speaker. It'll take you to the page where you can get the judging sheets, you can get the program handbook, you can see the names of all 95 people who've been accredited speakers. It gives you access to the website where you can contact us. And so the starting point, I would say, is get familiar with what the heck the program is.
Yeah.
And the handbook is very good. It's comprehensive. It walks people through. It's got the judging sheets. It's got the application forms, et cetera, et cetera. So let's talk a little bit in answer to your question. Where do you start? Well, the starting point is going to be developing your expertise and your speaking competence to the point where you feel comfortable walking out there into the public or to organizations and starting to market yourself as a speaker. Because you need to be a paid professional speaker, and I'll talk a little bit more about how that factors into the judging. And then people say, well, how do you start that? I call it putting in time in the pits. Put in time speaking. Put in time speaking. You might speak to a women's club. You might speak to a luncheon group. You might speak to a church group. You might speak to a chamber of commerce, a business group. But you're starting to develop your competence. What am I going to get known for as my topic? What is my lane? For example, I'm known for talking about retirement lifestyle planning. Okay, not the money. The financial industry looks after that. I build people. And so I talk about the retirement lifestyle planning aspect of, something you should be starting at about 40, 45. Because when you retire, all of a sudden, boom, you're gifted with 3,000 extra hours that you've got no idea how to fill. And so that's my lane. So think about, what is your expertise? Or what is something that you would love to speak to others about and develop an expertise in it? Maybe you want to talk about artificial intelligence. Get known for it. Get really, really good at it. So you need to get really, really good before you go out there and start marketing yourself. And one of the beautiful things about Toastmasters, and especially the Pathways program, because it's incremental learning, that you can also be developing your speaking skills. Your speaking skills are really important. So the two go hand in hand, sort of like a hand in a glove, right? It's your platform excellence, your speaking skills, as well as developing your subject matter expertise. And once you start pulling those together, then you might do some free things, and you might get paid an honorarium. When I was starting out, I used to speak to women's groups, and as a joke, I would say, they'd say, well, we're just going to give you dinner and gas. I'm going like, yeah, okay. So I spoke for dinner and gas for quite a number of presentations. But in order to be able to apply for the program in the last 3 years, you must have given 25 speeches to non-Toastmaster audience, to
Ooh.
your audience, like your targeted audience. Out of those 25, or all of those 25 speeches must have a minimum number of 20 people in the audience. So somewhere between 20 and 5,000. Okay, there's a range. It's good.
Do they have to be paid? Do they have to be paid speeches?
Great question. Out of those 25, 15 must be paid.
Got it.
Now, when you're applying on your application form, you have to write down who was the organization, what was your topic, who was the audience, and how much did you get paid. So some of those engagements, a small number, can be if you get an honorarium. Maybe they give you $300 to cover your dinner and gas. But all of them cannot be honorarium, because one of the things that we look for when we're screening the applications is, does the compensation appear like it is at the professional level? In other words, could you live on this? Or could you mostly live on this? And maybe as people are starting out, sometimes they have other gigs as well, right? So maybe they're working and, developing their, so we take a look, like if every single engagement is $100, you are going to be screened out at the level one. You also have to have a professional quality video. So when you're applying, you have to be out there speaking, minimum 25 speeches in the last 3 years. And the great news is, so in 3 years, like think about it, that's less than 10 a year. That's less than 1 a month. That's pretty doggone good, right? Can you do that? Yes, you can. Absolutely. Out of that, 15 need to be paid. Well, in 3 years, right? That's 5 paid gigs a year. Could you do it? Of course you could, right? If this is one of your goals. So it is achievable, but it's really good to be organized, et cetera, et cetera. And absolutely record everything you do. Like I 100% support, and not everybody agrees with me, but I'm okay with that. I 100% support every speech being recorded, whether you meet virtually, hybrid, in person, etc. Because for the individual, that is such an exceptional learning tool. Maybe it doesn't go on YouTube. Maybe nobody else ever sees it, but you do. And so you watch it, right? And you say, oh my gosh, I can't believe what an idiot I was. You're really hard on yourself. And then you watch it again and you turn the sound off. And so you can see, you're like, oh my gosh, I look like a rabid groundhog. Oh my gosh. And then you turn the video off and you only listen to it and you go like, that was pretty good, actually. It had good structure, good opening body, good points, good conclusion. And so that's the power of a video, whether you're wanting to pursue being professional or not. In my home club, we're an online club, exclusively online, because we've got members all over the world. But 100% of our speeches are recorded. And the individual is given the option. Okay, they get to see the video first. They have the option, does it go on our club YouTube channel, or do they just use it for their own training and development? But it is amazing. It is amazing when you start to see yourself, presenting, whether it's virtually or in person. And if you're on, getting back to the question, if you are on that track where you desire to be a paid professional speaker, this might sound a little harsh, but we really have to get over ourselves. We have to be comfortable watching ourselves, warts and all, and so that is sort of like a real good starting point if you're at ground zero looking at becoming a paid professional speaker. Record everything, watch, evaluate, get a mentor, start getting your name out there in your community to speak about whatever your lane is.
Awesome. Okay, well, we're going to go on to Althea. Althea, bring us on home.
Freddie, you're sharing a lot of really good gems this evening. We had tons of questions, but as you're explaining the program, you're like hitting all the questions that we had for you. So this is great. This has been a great conversation. I hope those of you that are listening or viewing this are taking notes. But I just want to ask you, so I love the fact in your bio that Johnny shared that, you know, a lot of us come to Toastmasters because we're wanting to build our confidence as speakers and leaders. You already had that coming in the door. So you had a different objective coming into Toastmasters to help you get to that next level. And I loved how you walked us through the application process. So one of the things I was going to ask you was, how long could that application process take to become an accredited speaker? From, like you mentioned, just gathering all of the videos of yourselves presenting speeches, filling out the application. What does that whole process, how long could it take for someone to actually achieve or be number 97 or 96 of the accredited speakers?
Well, I'm obviously a slow learner because it took me 15 years.
Wow. Okay.
Now, the average person takes much less than that. I'm very subpar. I started the application process back when we had to record on an audio tape. Now, some of you probably don't even remember what an audio tape is. A little cassette tape. And you had to have a partner because you had to tape
Stop it, and yeah.
And then you had to flip it over and you couldn't do any editing.
And it was hard to edit, yeah, I would imagine. Because you didn't have equipment back then.
And so when I first did that and sent my initial audio recording in with my paperwork, etc., I did not pass at level 1.
Gotcha.
Okay? Because you have to have, and now that we've got the video recordings, it's so much easier.
Sure.
But the audio tape, you know, you've got to hear the audience reaction, et cetera, et cetera. It was really hard to get a good, clear tape where you were present, the audience was present, et cetera. So my audio recording failed. And so I put that on the back burner for a while as I started getting more into the leadership, the area and district leadership aspect of Toastmasters. And I started working up through the program. So you don't have to be a DTM to enter into the accredited speaker stream. You know, as I said before, you know, as long as you've finished one path, right, you can qualify for your Toastmaster credential. But I chose to follow the Distinguished Toastmaster, and so I achieved that.
Got it.
I was also getting really, really busy in my business. And so Toastmasters, you know, it became an also ran. I was still there going to the meetings, everything like that. But it wasn't my focus as I was building my speaking business. I mean, you know, business is business, money talks, right? And so
Right.
I was out there earning a living and being delighted in Toastmasters, absolutely loving it. So then I decided to have another go. Now, technology, it had leapt ahead. Now we had VCR tapes.
For kids, that was the streaming of its day. That's how we'll explain it.
Oh, man. And I mean, the equipment was only as large as a small car. And, you know, setting it up and everything it was kind of a dog's breakfast, really. But I did it. Also, one of the challenges that back then, because you had all of these gear and gadgets and stuff, a lot of organizations, if you said, you know, are you okay if I use a video recording device to record my presentation, they would say no.
Right.
Because they didn't want the kerfuffle.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, a lot of times they would say, yeah, no, and it would be the best presentation you'd done that year. I mean, it's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
But eventually I got a video recording that I sent in and it didn't pass. I failed at level 1 because, and we'll get into judging. One of you had the judging. You have to achieve 80%. I got 78.
Oh,
2 points, 2 points. You know, I should have worn a better jacket. I don't know.
I love that jacket.
So, you know, there I'm going like, okay, but getting on with my life.
Yeah.
But I started to really look at and explore. I was a member of, 3 different professional speaking organizations, and I was doing mentoring and I was doing coaching, and I was in my mind getting myself prepared for the next attempt. And so that's what I did. I started in 2012. So, this journey had been going along, and I started in 2012, like just really preparing, picking my engagements that I was going to put on my application form, right? Because you've got 3 years to pull it together.
Okay.
I was now recording everything on a small camera or a video camera. You didn't need, to park a Volkswagen bus in the back of the conference room. And so I was recording and getting good at recording and getting good at, observing myself and seeing, these are the pieces. By then I had smartened up and I had actually looked at the judging sheet. What an idea. It didn't even occur to me before that to look at the judging sheet. That might have helped. Who knows? Yeah. And so, I started looking at, what are the judges looking for, et cetera, et cetera. And I applied in the application season in 2015. So we have just finished application season. It is January. Okay, January. So the applications have gone into world headquarters, and we've got 2 amazing staffers that are just incredibly supportive of the program. And they're going through looking to make sure that all of the pieces are there, that the 5 recommendations are there, that the audio is there, that, the applicant has filled in all of the necessary bits. Mm-hmm. And so they're getting that all prepared. We have our panel of judges selected, and they will be starting. Yeah, March is this weekend. Yeah. So in March they'll be doing the judging, and then towards the mid to late April, sometimes up into early May, depending on how many we have, the candidates will be notified as to whether they have passed level 1 or not. Okay. If you're like me and you didn't pass it, you are absolutely able to reapply. You're absolutely able to reapply. It's not one and done. And so I sent in my information, and April 2015 got the answer. Woohoo! I had passed. Finally. Yeah, I had passed level 1. Yeah. And now I was invited to present at the International Convention that in 2015 was held in Las Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah.
You felt lucky going out there to Vegas.
Good. To gamble, right?
Right.
Well, so then at level 2, now you're doing that, like apart from 2 years during COVID when there were online presentations, but it is a live presentation where you take your best stuff and you edit it down to 15 to 18 minutes. So an hour keynote, all of a sudden you're winnowing it down to that 15 minutes that is going to culminate in your absolute best presentation of your life on the big stage in front of 3,000 of your best Toastmaster friends. No pressure.
Awesome.
So I gave my level 2 presentation, and I was not successful.
Oh.
I was not successful in 2015. And my topic was a crowd favorite. They very much enjoyed it, but there was elements, and the difference between the accredited speaker and a speech contest is that we get feedback. Okay. We get feedback from the judges. This element we're missing, you didn't demonstrate your competence. et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we get feedback, and from that we can build and grow. So
Yeah.
at level 2, you have the opportunity of coming back another year. So the following year was in Chicago, and I chose not to because 2017 was going to be in Vancouver, Canada, my home country.
Right.
Nice. Nice.
Silver medal hockey, woo, woo, men and women. And so I decided I was going to put all of my effort into my level 2 2017 at the Vancouver Convention Center. So I started from scratch. I crafted an entirely new speech, based on material from my expertise.
Mm-hmm.
But rather than trying to take an established speech and break it down, which is really, really hard. Have you ever had to edit your speech?
Yes.
To knock 2 minutes off so you get
Right.
to 7 minutes. I mean, your words are your babies, man.
Mhm.
It's a lot easier to
Tell them so they understand when I go over his speeches. This is the reason why.
Oh,
Tell my
boy.
club mates. Let them know.
Don't you help them out,
Johnny
Heidi.
do.
Yeah, those are my children. I can't cut them out. But I started from square one. I built a purpose-built speech for the accredited speaker presentation that then I just expanded. That is another like knock 'em dead keynote. That's
Wow.
one of my most popular keynotes. And so in 2017, I was proud to achieve the accredited speaker designation. And here's a fun fact. In that year, there were 8 accredited speakers awarded their credential. It was the largest audience of accredited speakers. Woohoo! We
Wow.
had
Congratulations.
from Australia and Claire Crowther from Great Britain, from the Americas, from Canada. It was great. It was great. So yes, so 2017, my 15-year journey culminated in success.
That was
Yeah.
Johnny, real quick before you wrap up this episode, I just want to ask one question because I want to make sure I heard you correctly. So when you got the notification, Freddie, that you've completed level 1 and you were invited for the level 2, and you didn't make it that time, did you have to basically start all the way over, or does that level 1 stays with you?
Yeah, you get 3 tries.
Oh, okay.
If you fail 3 times at level 2, then you're back to square one.
Understood. Got it. I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Jenny, over to
But
you.
the judging is kind of interesting, and I invite you to look at the judging sheet. It's part of the handbook. You can click on it.
And I put it in the chat for people to see.
Thank you for that. So, I mean, the content, right? It's all those basics, Toastmaster skills. Did your audience respond? Was there great structure to your speech? The value, the originality. But number 4 under content is subject matter expertise. Did the speaker demonstrate proficiency and mastery in their identified area of expertise? Oh, yeah. And then, of course, the delivery. That's many of the wonderful Toastmaster skills that we develop. And, looking at the choreography on the stage, et cetera, your audience engagement, language, of course, which is part of, speech contests, et cetera. And you have to score 80%.
Gotcha.
There are 5 judges. 4 of them must score you at 80%.
Oh, okay.
Judge 5 can score you at 100 or 79. But 4 out of 5 have to score you at 80. So you see, it is a very rigorous program.
Very
And
nice.
I encourage people that are interested to, number 1, download the handbook and take a look. Watch some of the accredited speakers in action because our videos are available. But
On the website, they're available on the Toastmasters International website?
Correct. And when you take a look at the accredited speaker page, there are some there. Also, you can find us and you can go to our, our websites or whatever, our YouTube channel. So because we're professional. We're out
Right.
there,
Yeah.
but also get a mentor. Now in Toastmaster world, two areas that are my areas of expertise that I speak on at districts, etc. One is mentorship, and the other one is membership building.
Mhm.
But get yourself a mentor, get yourself the right mentor that can support you in achieving your professional speaker goals as well as your accredited speaker goals.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay. Well, Freddie,
Very
thank you
helpful.
so much. This has been a great information.
Yes.
I had a lot of questions, and a lot of the questions throughout your responses to other questions, you
Yeah.
answered them
Yeah.
all. This was amazing. I could see why you are an accredited speaker. You put on a master's class in providing information on a topic. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm hoping that one of you want to be number 96, 97.
Johnny.
Well, 30,
Maybe so.
Hey, 98.
I don't know about 96,
100.
but maybe 100.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Maybe down the line.
We support that, Johnny. We support that.
Dramatic like that. He'll hold out for spot 100 just so
He would.
he's keeping it
Attaboy,
100.
Johnny. I'm going to be keeping my eye on you.
Love that.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you very much. If you'd like to sign out, or we're going to probably wrap this up here pretty soon, by all means, feel free to do so.
Well, thank you very much, Johnny. And
Ooh.
sorry, I forgot your name.
Angela.
Thank you.
Angela and Althea.
Yeah. District 40, thank you very much. This is one of my favorite topics because I know that there are masses of people out there that, we've got the too terrified to talk. You know what? We're bringing them in. But what about those folks that are getting out there to be paid for their expertise in that? That's our next membership pool. And I would love to see that pool grow in our Toastmaster circle so that we can get to number 100. But thank you very much for sharing with us.
This was
Absolutely.
amazing. Thank you so much. We
Thank you for joining
appreciate
us.
you. All right. Thanks a lot.
District
All right.
40.
That was great.
Great.
And I'm sitting here thinking of all of the members that I know within District 40 that probably need to throw their application, Johnny.
Right.
in there.
That was so great. My mind is just swirling. I cannot wait to go back and watch this episode
Yeah.
just to pick up on some of the things that I probably missed or did I just
So
want
much.
to hear again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing that I got from Freddie speaking is that this information was available to us the entire time.
Right. Yeah.
We just did not know it
Just there.
existed. So as she mentioned, for those of you that are interested in learning more about the Accredited Speakers Program, you go to toastmasters.org, click on the membership tab. You will see Accredited Speaker. It will take you to the landing page. There's tons of resources. You can read about the Accredited Speakers Program, download the application and the handbook, because it'll give you all the information that you need to know about the program and how to apply if this is what you want to do. And yeah, like Johnny said, watch this episode back again because you might have missed a couple of gems.
I'm pretty sure you all missed something and you just like, what was that? Hold on. Yeah, let me remind it of that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And
I
there's a
put
way to
the-
contact them, right? On
What's
there.
that?
There's a way to contact them on the page.
I'm probably sure there
like,
is. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
If you can, yeah, she mentioned that.
Yeah, she mentioned they have the members and to contact them. And I put the link in the chat. So if anybody's watching this on the YouTube or the Facebook page, you can just go into the chat and click on the link and it will take you directly there. And it's a handbook. There's some other things out there, explanations. Yeah, it's really good. It's really thorough. The handbook is very comprehensive. So a lot of good information in there.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I
Yeah,
think
nice
we're
little
going-
fancy pin too. I love it.
Yeah, I think, guys, we're going to wrap it up.
I think so too. Well, District 40. All right, we have about 4 more episodes as your D40 podcast.
Mhm.
All right. So we are enjoying this final journey to the finish line as we cross over to District 215. So, on behalf of our podcast team, we want to thank you all so much for joining us this evening for this episode. And we'll catch you next month. Have a good evening, District 40.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.